was that I did it for me, and that was the most freeing thing about minimalism, is that in my minimalism journey, everything that I've done with my minimalism has been for me. Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. So today's minimalism video is actually going to be a very serious topic and a very close to my heart topic, and that is minimalism isn't working out anymore. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's get it, let's go. Woo. I thought about this for a really long time. I wondered how I would tell this to you guys, but I've just realized that you guys are really here for me and what I have to say in my life take. So for me to tell the truth is probably the best thing for all parties involved. So let's just get to talking about it. So yeah, recently I've just really not been vibing with minimalism. I have come back to minimalism. It's been 2 months. I came back for January and February, and I don't know, I wasn't vibing with it. I felt like I was trying to fit myself into an old box because I took a minimalism break for an entire year in 2022. So I felt like, you know what, I'm gonna voice this and see if this resonates with anybody else, because like we are all on a life journey and this is currently where I'm at. This is not to say that I dislike minimalism. I still love minimalism and will always be a minimalist, but there are certain aspects of minimalism that are just like not working out for me, and that's actually what I'm going to talk about. I got 5 things that I want to talk about that just been, I don't know, maybe this is just a me problem, but I thought I'd share it with you guys because my channel is about minimalism and I'm not here to sugarcoat things, and I always just want to be transparent. So let's get right into it. Okay, so number 1, too much guilt. I had been suffering from minimalism guilt for the longest of time, and I'm just so over it. Like, I'm done with that. If you guys have seen, I have made countless videos on minimalism guilt, and I was like, I don't know why I do it to myself. I don't have to do this to myself. So I just don't really care about the amount of stuff that I own. If I own more stuff, if I own less stuff, like it's fine. Like it's just stuff at the end of the day. I don't feel guilty if I buy something anymore. Like there's no minimalism police, and I'm not a minimalism leader. I don't need to put on a show on the internet about how good of a minimalist I am. If I need to buy something, I'm just gonna buy something and I'm not gonna feel guilty about it. And the other thing is, it's okay to buy stuff. I, for the longest time in my minimalism journey, would have like the worst like panic attacks, anxiety attacks, feelings of guilt when I bought something, and I'm not about that anymore. I'm here in my effortless era. I'm here to just have a good time. I struggled really hard in my 20s, and that is not the tone that I want for my 30s. For my 30s, I just want to live in abundance, reap the rewards of all of my hard work from the past decade. So if I'm gonna buy something, I'm gonna be here for it, and I think that is part of my minimalism. I think I can have things that make me happy. I think that is actually the healthier way to do minimalism. So that brings us into point number 2. I was way too restrictive. I was too restrictive with my minimalism. I felt like minimalism was restriction. Those two things were the same thing to me, and I definitely was living with a scarcity mindset. I didn't even realize I was living with a scarcity mindset till I had a subscriber ask me like, how can I live in abundance, or how do I balance abundance and minimalism? So in some ways, maybe let go of your minimalism for a period of time. That is something that I definitely did. I took a minimalism break for an entire year, and in that I realized that yeah, I was definitely being way too restrictive with my minimalism. I think in some ways I'm being a true minimalist now, because like I'm pretty easygoing about my minimalism. I'm pretty chill. If I have more stuff, awesome. If I have less stuff, great. I think that's what we were trying to achieve with minimalism. I think it was just part of the journey to declutter a lot of stuff, and that's part of the beginning parts of minimalism. But I think in the later stages, you kind of become chill and you find your happy place, and your happy place is going to be more stuff than the extreme minimalist, or at least just maybe extreme minimalism isn't for me, and that's just part of my journey, and that's okay if like what worked for me does not resonate with some of my other viewers. But I don't know, I'm just not about being restrictive anymore. Okay, number 3. It was a very constricting identity. I used to follow this minimalist. Her name is Simple Victoria. Many years ago, she said she was sick and tired of the label and the constricting identity of minimalism, and there was more to her outside of that. And I was like, what are you talking about? You're perfect. You're my ideal minimalist. And I didn't understand. But now that I'm on the other side, you know, having preached, you know, till like God's green earth about minimalism, I'm just like, yeah, it's a very constricting identity. There's definitely more to me than just minimalism. And I think you guys have seen that. I do create a lot of content about a lot of random stuff, and I think you guys can see that there's more to me as a minimalist. That's not to say that minimalism can't still be part of my identity. I will always enjoy being a minimalist, because the thing about minimalism was that I did it for me, and that was the most freeing thing about minimalism, is that in my minimalism journey, everything that I've done with my minimalism has been for me. It has been to better my life, better myself, put myself in a better state of affairs. So I'm never gonna let that go, because I wasn't doing minimalism to put a show on the internet. I became a minimalist because I wanted a better life. So I'll still always be a minimalist, but it's not like the main thing. Like, not everything revolves around me being a good minimalist. It's like, I'm a minimalist, but I'm still like living my life. Okay, number 4. It's okay to want excess and it's okay to have abundance. These are all just seasons. So that was one of the things that I felt really guilty. I really craved abundance and I really craved excess. And I don't know, maybe it was a reaction to minimalism, but I was like really vibing with living in excess. And I don't know who needs to hear this, so maybe I'll be the one to say it because I don't think this is a popular narrative in the minimalism community. It's okay to have a season of excess. That doesn't make you a bad minimalist. And maybe this is just a me problem and you don't have to agree. But for me, it has been super helpful for my mental health. And I'm not saying like become, you know, very consumerist, hyper consumerist, but just like the general state of affairs or like the mindset, it's okay to want to have abundance and it's okay to have a season of abundance. Because once you experience abundance, then you have a feeling of like, okay, so now I want to like, you know, cut the fat and narrow it down. So it's like an ebb and a flow. You'll want a season of abundance so that you can appreciate a season of less. But always forcing yourself to live in a season of less, I don't think is healthy. It wasn't healthy for me. My mental health was pretty bad. I was starting to suffer from depression, like I'm not even gonna lie. So I think it's okay to want a season of abundance and to enjoy your season of abundance and not feel guilty. And then number 5, I kind of realized my minimalism had become a protective mechanism. It served its function, you know, it helped me pay off my student loans. It helped me build up a really fat egg nest. I built up a lot of wealth, you know, not spending my money on stupid things. I think it was okay to have operated in a scarcity mindset. It was very useful. It was very protective. It definitely helped get me ahead. I can run my own business now. I moved out of my mom's. Like I'm just like such an independent individual, and that would not have been possible if I had not been a hardcore minimalist. But now I'm like in a different season. I don't have to be so tight with my minimalism. It can always be there and I can always fall back on it. It'll always be a great life skill, but I don't need to let it keep being a crutch for me because some things that were useful before start to become a detriment later in different stages of life. So we have to know how to shift gears. You don't always have to be in running mode. You need to have rest modes. So I think that's something that I'm going through right now. I think I'm going through I'm enjoying life. I'm in like my effortless era, and minimalism is on the back burner now. It's something that I just kind of like implement into my lifestyle and use it as a guideline, but it is not the core life philosophy that rules my life anymore. And if you're wondering what does this mean for the channel, it doesn't mean anything for the channel. I'll still always make minimalism content, but I'm not going to make it like so dogmatic or so religious. It's more kind of like, it's a pretty good lifestyle, something you can implement to kind of help you live your best life. And I think that that's all that it is. I think it's just a tool to help you live your best life, and it's always changing. I think my minimalism is changing, which I think is refreshing to see for myself. Like when I look in the mirror, I'm like, I'm so proud of who I've become through my minimalism journey, and I wanted to share that with you guys because I don't believe in not changing. I think that's a very strong Buddhistic principle. To not change is to die, to live is to change. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys and hope this resonates with anybody. And for anyone who's like, what you're on is not for me, I just want to say thank you, because I totally get it. Sometimes we have to shed our skin, and that includes shedding me from your life, and I really appreciate it. And for those of you who are enjoying the fresher take on minimalism, then let's just keep going and let's see where this takes us, because I have no idea, but I'm definitely excited for the future and excited for you to join me on this journey. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!